First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Tonight, it's on to Week 4 as we've got a good Thursday night matchup in store between the New Orleans Saints and the Detroit Lions. They go play action here on first down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
We talked about prior to the game, and it played out right there on the first play, didn't it? This offensive line is going to have his hands full all night long.
Now, you often speak of scripts to start a game. Does this mean that play number 2, they're going to go off the script a little bit?
Yeah, what's interesting is that most people, when they script now, they actually script those contingencies in, okay, in case they can't run the play they want to. How it's long distance now? Let's go to that play.
They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Okay, even just being nice, the last 2 plays were not very good offensively. So if you're the play caller, was it the team's execution or was it strategy? If it was execution, you continue to call the game the way you're calling it. But if it's strategy, change up what you're doing and figure it out.
Now Foles. He'll air it out deep for 10. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And he will finally be taken down, but not before he reaches the 38. A big play for the Saints on third down. 46 yards. And on this first drive, looks like they want to get that vertical passing game going early.
And they did, and what a warning shot they just fired. If you're not going to back up and play coverage deep, we're going to attack you all game long. And once you adjust to that and you start to back off, then that opens things up underneath. A really nice start for them. Great way to get the game going.
And that's off the mark, incomplete. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Foles. On the check down, he finds Kamara. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. Give him 6 on the play. And that'll bring up a third down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys? Coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night, guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And Bryant's got it over the middle. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. That time they hit him out of the slot on the drag.
And that route takes some fortitude from the guy running it because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it, right? He's trying to work his way through all that traffic, and people wanting to put a little contact on him. Really well done.
First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down.
I'd have to say that whenever you see a good post route run, they do not like to let it end without the catch. Hence, that great diving play.
Yeah, lay it up there, let him go get it, and he got it. And now some motion before the snap. And this will be our first penalty of the night's proceedings.
Offense.
And that'll set them back 5.
Still first down.
So from the 2, now they move back to the 7-yard line. 1st and goal. Following the penalty, it's Kamara. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Saints take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. With these Thursday night games, sometimes you get those quick turnarounds. You wonder how a team's going to start. They started really well.
Everyone's always wondering, going into a Thursday night game, who has their legs, who has the overall health of a team. But mentally, if you get that early edge, the other team might think to itself, it's been a short week, we're not really ready to go. You might run them into the ground that way. That's why getting that early score means a lot.
Throwing on first down, Conley. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. 23 yards on the play. And this is a guy who last week not only helped his real team, but really helped a lot of fantasy teams. 3 trips to pay dirt. They've got to contain him.
And watching him.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe.
And he takes this one in for the Lions. Touchdown. Marvin Jones, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Lions are an extra point away from tying this thing up.
When you're a great route runner, it makes you that much better as a receiver because now your quarterback trusts that you're going to be where he expects, and he's able to deliver the ball on time.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara, he'll be dropped at the 30. With a shifty move, got him a couple extra on the play. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Here's Foles. And that's complete to the tight end Hireman. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. The numbers for him from a week ago. 5 catches, 78 yards.
And what we just saw there was exactly what they need against this defense. Big plays. They were able to pick up a first down on that one.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. He gets it to Thomas. Finding room inside the 40. The 20. 10. Touchdown, New Orleans. Michael Thomas, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Saints are able to cash in for 6. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
When you're trying to create space for your running back, the first thought is how physical is the offensive line. Sometimes it's just positioning. On that play, it didn't matter about positioning or being physical. The defensive front, they out-leveraged them and won the battle.
To throw on 2nd down. Conley. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 75 yards receiving for him now. It's a first down.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice.
Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Tyler Davison breaking through to get him for a loss of 7.
Well, the pass rush has been a real strength of late. They know how to get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. 4 sacks last week. That's their first one here. Anything in particular you've seen from them or on film?
I think that they're winning athletically up front, winning those one-on-one battles, but also when the offensive line wants to keep everyone in and mass protect, they know how to scheme their way back to the quarterback as well.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Conley. They'll find Galladay. That's complete. They'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That one will go down as 33 yards on the 3rd down conversion. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Back to throw. Conley. This is caught. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal.
Let's go!
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. The quick slant caught. No gain there on the completion. It'll be 2nd down.
And that's when it's fun to play defense. When you're able to diagnose a play right from the beginning, get all your guys to the football and spill the play, that's when you have a lot of fun playing on that side of the ball.
Let's go! Brand 38! Brand 38!
Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2. And they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. Again, he'll drop to throw. Underneath for Johnson. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Kerryon Johnson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Lions are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him, and you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Now we'll see what Michael Thomas and the rest of the offense has in store here. There's a lot of talk in training camp about him getting off to a hot start this year, saying that they needed that. Well, he's done it through the first month.
It kind of reminds me of one of those great musical groups where one person has their name out front, then they have the backups, right? He's the guy out front because the backups, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. But we're going to the headliner each and every time. And that's not easily done because, you know, all the defenses are kicking towards him right now. That means he's fighting his way through traffic, finding ways to get open, even when he's not supposed to be.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. They'll set up to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. At 5 yards on the play there, the drive will continue.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done. That one goes for 24 yards.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run, because we envision them in offenses catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Bryant, and he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover them.
And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. In for the score. And the Saints have moved out in front. Point after try forthcoming. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-14. And nowadays in NFL football, you have to account for all the receivers, sure, but the tight end's such a weapon, and they prove it right there.
Oh, without a doubt. And we're seeing now the golden age of tight ends catching the football. I go back to Kellen Winslow. To me, he was the prototype of what we're seeing today. We're seeing it each and every week now.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
On the crossing route, complete. It's Jones. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Conley. And incomplete on the deep ball. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, but they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back. But that's one step in the proper direction.
Come on, let's go.
To throw again. Conley steps away to his left. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Trying to get it to Ebron, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Demario Davis. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line.
Offensively, when you see cover 2, the thought has to go through the quarterback's head. Drive the football when making throws. It's not just the deep guys covering. It's the guys underneath you have to be careful of. Drive your throw. Otherwise, you see what results? Interceptions.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
The insistence of speed at every position is really seen at the defensive end spot. These guys in the old days were often outside linebackers. They just pushed them forward because they wanted to play fast and get to the quarterback or the running backs quicker than ever before.
He'll get it to the 40. Sweet little move in there, but couldn't get much yardage out of it. The Saints on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 9. Back to throw here. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. And Detroit getting set to go now. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Well, there's your leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, putting on another clinic, well over 100 yards.
Are we taking notes? We should be, right? Because I'm going to go back and watch this tape and really enjoy what I'm seeing. The route running, competing for the football, just breaking down a defense.
23 yards on the play.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
He's got his man on the crossing route. And he will be marked down inside of New Orleans 10. 1 minute, 53 ticks left to go in this first half. We'll come back to Ford Field after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half, as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Conley, and that'll be incomplete. Johnson the intended target, and it'll bring up 3rd down. Well, those two have hooked up for a touchdown once already in this game, that time unable to find the completion.
Yeah, it just appeared they wanted to get him out into open space and try and get him the football. As you mentioned, unable to connect.
Come on, let's go! What, 90? What, 90?
From the gun on 3rd down. Conley, and he's got it. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. And the Saints signal for another timeout, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Can this defense hold them out? Here we go now. 4th and goal from the 2. Back to throw. Conley, the quick slant caught. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Bucky Hodges, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Lions are an extra point away from tying this thing up.
The tight end position has always been dangerous, especially in the red zone, short field. But now even more so, because these tight ends aren't necessarily the tight ends of old. They're the rocked-up wide receivers who have a little bit more speed. Way harder to cover than before.
Prater for the extra point. And we've got a tie game here in a back-and-forth first half. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. We're getting closer here now to halftime, and we may need that halftime break just because there hasn't been much of a break in this first half. A lot of points being put up.
Not much room to breathe, is there? Because these guys are going up and down the field. And let's face it, if you're the offensive coordinator for either squad, pretty happy with what you're saying. If you're the defensive coordinator,
you're not so happy.
You're frantically searching for something that'll work. You're on the headset talking to your assistant. You're checking your play sheet. You're going through your memory banks of all the tape you watched. You've got to come up with something, anything that'll help slow them down.
Searching for answers. Give him 9 on the play, and it'll be second and about a yard. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Over the middle, it's Thomas. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
They'll look to throw here. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Thomas. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. They just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. First down now, but that clock rolling. So 5 plays on this drive, Charles. All passes, all completions. And just like that, they're in the red zone.
And don't you think the playbook opens up a little bit more now? Because all they've done is throw the football. If you want to run it now, you may very well have them fooled.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Looking to throw. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
This will be caught at about the 6. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. As his guys are in for 6. And the Saints have moved out in front.
And that touchdown gives them a touchdown lead before they attempt the...
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Partner, they're less than 2 minutes to go in the game, which means that this challenge was initiated by the fellas in New York.
And if you're the coach, you're thinking, thank you, New York. They'll look to throw again. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. He'll drop to throw. And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. This a 33-yard attempt. And his kick here is good. So we've reached halftime in a... All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. They got 29 yards that time. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 46. Looking to throw. Conley. Ebron caught left side. And he's going to get this inside the 30. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Now a play fake here on first down. His throw caught right around the 6. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line.
Face mask. Defense.
They'll give them the yardage on the pass and half the distance to the goal line.
Because they're inside the 30. So now you don't march off the full 15, right? You have half the distance to the goal. In any event, that's precious real estate given up.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage.
Come on, let's go.
Back to throw. Conley dumping it off for Johnson. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Kerryon Johnson with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Lions are in for 6.
That is today's NFL, isn't it? If you're going to be a running back in this league, you've got to be complete to stay on the field, at least for those 3 downs we talk about. Got to be able to catch it, which he's doing quite well in this one. 2 touchdowns already.
Yeah, a little unconventional. He hasn't been able to cross the goal line as a runner, but as you say, twice as a receiver. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start. And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. Really solid effort for him right now. 3rd quarter, already 4 touchdown passes. How many can he get here?
That remains to be seen, but I know one thing. You and I will be here to watch. And I'm not going anywhere. With what he's doing in this contest, I'm not missing a minute of it. This guy's been spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team game, but sometimes these individual performances are fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes they just kind of come to the front, despite the fact, as you said, we know it's all about the team. But the way he's playing, he's trying to make his team win on his back.
Yeah, it's been exciting. So 1 play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Off-play action. Conley forced out to his left. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance.
And he's going to go down again.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how they can be exact.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And unfortunately, he's able to reel it back in, but it's going to go down as a big loss here on the play. He got it stripped, but you can see the panic in his face from up here through the helmet. He was able to dive back on it.
A good bit of fortune for him, because oftentimes on a strip sack, when that ball is wrenched out of your grasp, it can go in any different direction. It can go way away from you. In this case, it didn't matter. He was able to get on it.
12 yards on the return that time. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And nearly picked off there, and it would have been a great time for their first pick. Instead, it's 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
A 10th carry for Kamara. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
I would think as a play call, you want to look for some quick hitters to your tight end. Any type of a route to replace where that linebacker was. Because when you saw the speed with which he reacted and stuffed that play, maybe use that speed against him in the future.
And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. Give him 7 on the play, and it'll be 4th down. Here's Thomas Morstead now as he's on to punt for New Orleans. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
The left side completion to Jones. A very solid gain of 27.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
Come on, let's go. Try 38.
They go play action here on 1st down. Flushed out right. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Conley. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. On 1st down, Conley. That's going to be caught. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. In for the score. And the Lions are able to grow their lead. Now Prater to add the PAT.
Well, after another passing touchdown, I don't think it'd be an understatement to say that he's in the zone, and I believe he likes it.
A drive there of just 4 plays. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. And that's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. So second in inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. They'll run it now out of the gun. Only a gain of a yard there, but it indeed gets them a new set of downs.
Second in inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
It's a gain of 9 yards, and that'll make it second and short. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it will.
Back now at Ford Field. It's the Saints who hold the football, but they're trailing as we begin the fourth quarter of play. Foles. And that's caught by Smith. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. And that'll get them the first down as they get 9 yards out of that quick slant. And in a two-score game, obviously, every play, every third down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get the third down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. He's lucky to be getting that one back.
After what they've done with him all day long, with all the targets trying to go after him, he's obviously gotten smart, and his pride has kicked in. He made a terrific play.
Now Foles, and he's got Hireman. And all the way down to the 7-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
They'll give it to him up the middle. Only a yard that time, second and goal.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just
got a man open. It's Thomas. It's a touchdown for New Orleans. Michael Thomas with his second touchdown of the game, fourth of the year. And the Saints have cut it back within a score. Here we go now as we get set for a big two-point conversion. Here's Foles. And this is caught. They got it. And that could be an important 2 points. It gets them back within a field goal. I guess the coach looked at the two-point cheat sheet, said go for it, get it to a three-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a two-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves. Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
On the crossing route, complete. It's Jones. It's a big play there for the Lions. 57 yards.
Similar to a slant, it's all about timing when you're throwing a crossing route. Quarterback and receiver have to be in sync, and when they put it on them just right and catch it full speed, running through a defense, can often result in a big pickup of yardage.
Looking to throw. Conley under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Alex Anzalone coming on the blitz. He gets him for a loss of 7. Well, this has been a pretty sizable drive. They've had some success. Finally, the defensive coordinator found some success of his own.
I think he just simply said enough of that. Okay, they've moved the ball well. We need to force the issue from our end, and that's exactly what.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Von Bell. A critical error there in a tight game of the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
You got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, OTAs, minicamp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. An outcut, ball was delivered, and picked up the incompletion.
Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. And they'll get him down here at the 23. He's been big, 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here. The start for them near flawless. Defense gets them a 3 and out. 2 quick pass connections on offense.
So that's how a team works together. Just what you described. Get them the ball, give them a little momentum, and they're capitalizing off of that. Thanks a lot, guys.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Now a hit and falls, loses the football. It's out, and the Lions have recovered.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time it was a turnover.
Yeah, caught up to him. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
To throw on 2nd down. Conley, he hits Riddick underneath. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 5 yards that time on the completion. And now it's 3rd and goal. This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4.
Let's go. What? 90. What? 90.
Back to throw. Conley finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Kerryon Johnson from 4 yards out. And the Lions use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. It's been quite the game for him individually. A trio of touchdown catches now.
So pick a route, any route. Whatever you want him to run, he's going to do it and do it well and end up in the end zone. This has really been fun to watch.
Here's Prater now set to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, That's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise it's going to be a long day for you. That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Going deep here for... It's caught inside the 25. And he is able to take this way down into Detroit territory. It's a big play there for the Saints. 43 yards. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Dez Bryant, his second touchdown on the season. And the Saints are back within a score.
Okay, I know it's an old line, but it still applies here. The fat lady has not sung yet. She may be warming up, but she hasn't sung yet. There's still an opportunity.
Point after, right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. After the touchdown we just saw, we have a brand new ball game. And now look at the situation. You got plenty of time on the clock. Defensively, they have 3 timeouts. So do you run the football here or do you throw it?
I think you have that full conversation with your offensive unit. You tell them, here's the situation. They've got all their timeouts, so we are not going to play this conservatively. We've got to attack them. We've got to make them use those, gain the ground that we need in order to put this game away. If you think we're just going to run it 3 times and punt it, you got another thing coming.
Yeah, and by the way, also the 2-minute warning in play, so essentially 4 timeouts left.
They have to be aggressive here.
Come on, let's go! Run 38!
That one looks like he'll throw here. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the offense will get this one back. Boy, that could have been catastrophic at this late stage of the game, but they avoid disaster. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle.
Here we go!
Looking to throw. Conley. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. The Lions on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and a mile.
Let's go!
Off the play fake. Conley. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10.
Let's go!
Back to throw. Conley. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10.
Let's go!
Back to the air on 2nd down. Conley. Johnson was the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
On third down, Conley. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by a former first-round pick, Patrick Robinson. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout as there's a Saints player down here on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A really nice gain of 25 yards. First down now, but that clock rolling. Back to throw. Looking left sideline, incomplete. This defense has watched their lead dwindle away. This is where they really need to bow up. They executed well there. And it's often hard after you've played really well early and then you kind of relax a little bit to step on the gas again. They just did it on the last play. Looks like they want to finish this one off. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. The reception good for 7. It's third down. They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. So now it's 4th down and short, and whatever they do, run or pass it, they've got to pick up the first here. Yeah, and you mentioned running it. That is still an option. But as you also said, they've got to do it quickly and get back to the line of scrimmage. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Those really long field goals, when they are made, they are things of beauty. But there is a danger to getting them started, isn't there? Yeah, with that low drive, you've got to really keep it low to the ground, don't you, to get that distance. Yeah, hard to just pop it up in the air because otherwise it's not going to get there. So he's got to drive it low in order to have the distance, and that usually puts it in jeopardy, gives him a chance to block it, and everyone knows it on the other side. That's when you get your best jumpers on the other side of the field and try and get up and get it. So now a chance for points in the opposite direction after the blocked field goal. Now a handoff, Johnson. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2. Johnson looking to impress early on with an eye toward more carries as the Lions come up 1st and 10. They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. And certainly some style points there on the spin. Not a whole lot thereafter, but still a pretty good gain. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there? I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them. Looking to throw. Conley. Caught on the right side by Jones. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense. They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them. And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work. That's called being in the zone. So for Detroit, hey, they finish